Welcome to the Child Protection Center's signature gala, Blue Ties and Butterflies. My name is Neil Saffer, and I have the honor of being your co-host this evening. They say that challenging times call for creative solutions. Well, this year was certainly challenging, so tonight we are getting creative. The staff at CPC, along with the Blue Ties and Butterflies Committee, have worked tirelessly for months to bring you this year's event as a virtual experience in order to ensure the health and safety of our dedicated donors, staff, and volunteers. Friends, over the years, this event has helped to raise awareness and support to the CPC mission by ending the silence and secrecy of child abuse in our community. This impact is particularly crucial now as we face the devastating effects that the coronavirus has had on child abuse. Thank you for joining us this evening. Friends, remember, it's easy to bid and to donate. Just go to www.cpcsarasota.org. Scroll down to the You're Invited image, which will take you to our Blue Ties and Butterflies page, where you can click on the Auction and Donations button, located in the middle of the second row. There, you'll be able to donate or register for tonight's auction. If you need any assistance at all, please call 941-867-8500. That's 941-867-8500, and one of our volunteers will be glad to help. Now, please welcome Jerry and Faye Bainbridge.
Hello, and welcome to Blue Ties and Butterflies. Thank you for your participation and your support of CPC.
Thank you, Jerry and Faye, and thank you to each and every one of you that have worked to make this night possible. It is impossible to describe the amount of time and talent that it takes to put on an event like this, and we are thankful for everyone's commitment to CPC and to changing lives and building futures. Now, please welcome our chairs for the evening, Tina Grantham and Kim O'Connor.
Good evening and welcome to our first virtual Blue Ties and Butterflies supporting the Child Protection Center. CPC will begin its 42nd year providing services in our community. In 2020, the COVID-19 virus took away so many special moments, but the Child Protection Center remained open, deemed an essential business. Sarasota County received over 3,800 child abuse reports. In the first 6 months of the pandemic, 43% of the children assessed by our child protection team were for sexual abuse. The prevention team shared their first personal safety video to the community 7 days after the pandemic shutdown began. CPC is committed to preventing abuse in our community. We were saddened to cancel last year's event, but made it our mission to bring this event to our community in the safest way possible. We are honored to be a part of such an amazing organization and to welcome all of you as our virtual guests tonight. This evening, our hope is that we will help you understand the transformational work that CPC performs daily and are inspired to help in some way. Kim and I hope that you are enjoying a delicious beverage and are relaxing in your favorite spot. So let's get started.
This event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to take a moment to thank them. Presenting sponsor, J.L. Bainbridge. Diamond Butterfly sponsor, Grassi and Dennis McGillicuddy. Platinum sponsors, Arthur S. Karp Family Foundation, Classic Creations in Diamonds and Gold, Donna and David Kaufman. Gold sponsors, Doug and Sharon Chapman, James and Lorna Mack, Keith Monda and Veronica Brady, Publix Supermarkets Charities. Silver sponsors, Barbara and Tony Frankie, Charles Brooks, Gulf Coast Community Foundation, Ian and Melissa Howard, John F. Swift Construction and the Swift Family Foundation, Michaels on East, Skip and Gail Sack, Anonymous Donor, Synovus. Our media communication sponsors, Crosswind Cloud Solutions, Discount Telecom, Grapevine Communications, The Observer. Please refer to your program for a complete list of all of tonight's sponsors, including the bronze and patron sponsors. We would also like to thank our committee members. Thank you again for attending Blue Ties and Butterflies and for your support of the work of the Child Protection Center.
Thank you, Tina and Kim, and thank you to all our committee members and sponsors. I hope that you are all enjoying your evening and watching with those that you're comfortable gathering with, and that you are already donating and bidding on some of these great auction items. To bid, you'll need to register online, and you will then receive a code to enter the auction. Remember, it's easy to bid, and it's easy to donate. Just go to www.cpcsarasota.org, or you can call our phone bank at 941-867-8500. That's 941-867-8500. Or you can text Butterflies to 50155 and donate throughout the evening. Once again, that's www.cpcsarasota.org. Or you can call our phone bank at 941-867-8500 or text Butterflies 50155. And once again, thank you. And remember that thanks to some generous donors of CPC, the first $100,000 raised this evening will be matched dollar for dollar. Friends, keep an eye out for those wonderful Blue for Kids images at the end of the evening tonight. Now, please welcome a man that everyone who has attended Blue Ties and Butterflies will immediately recognize, Mr. Michael Klauber.
Oh, thank you so much, Neil, and I am just thrilled to be here. I'm so honored to be able to help the Child Protection Center once again. It's an agency that we all know is so important for our children and our community. So tonight we're going to make a difference, and I know we'll do this together. The need for funding is stronger than ever, and I'm going to need extra help from all of you watching tonight. So I'm praying that your hearts are in this with me as always. Now remember, the auction closes tonight at 7 o'clock, so don't delay. And I get to be very excited to tell you about 4 amazing packages that I hope you're all out there bidding and that you've looked at already. But let's start with auction item number 1, and this is incredible. It's an African adventure at the Tulani Private Estate. It's on a 52,000-acre private game reserve. 2 lucky people are going to get to spend 6 nights and 7 days on this 52,000-acre private reserve in an incredible 5-bedroom villa. You'll get to pick your own bedroom. You'll have your own wildlife guide for unlimited game drives of your choice. You'll see leopards, elephants, lions, hippos, and more. And Terry and I know this region of Africa very well and have been there multiple times. You will definitely see the Big 5. Your personal chef will cook for you, and your private concierge will organize your days and your nights. The South African wines will amaze you, as well as the Cape Malay cuisine. A portion of your winning bid on this item will support Spring of Hope, which is a really amazing foundation that builds wells for the local schools that surround these challenged areas. So start bidding on that. Now, item number 2 is really fun. This is pythons, purses, and parties. This Be Swanky handbag is made right here in Sarasota. It's valued at over $3,200, and it's as rare as it is fabulous, trust me. It's been worn by celebrities like Faith Hill, Tori Spelling, Jenny Garth, and so many more. In addition to this bag, you and 14 friends will be hosted at the Be Swanky Atelier for a tour and some bubbly Prosecco and light bites. Experience the Python Hunt with Amy Sweewee. She will take you through the Everglades on the back of a truck, believe it or not. You'll cruise levees and rows that are not accessible to anyone in the public. So for 3 people, an adventure right here in Florida. Start bidding on that one. Item number 3 tonight, you'll be cruising into memories. And I love this yacht. It's a 3-hour cruise on the fabulous Golden Eagle yacht. Chef Mike will give you a choice. You can do appetizers for 18 on this cruise, or maybe just a special decadent dinner for 4. You'll also receive a personal portrait printed on canvas by famous photographer Bradford, and an overnight stay, I love this, in the 5-diamond Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Miami. You're also going to partake in over a dozen bottles of wine and spirits, all donated by the Board of Directors of CPC. Can't wait for that one. Item number 4, well, I know this one pretty well. This is dinner for 12 in Michael's Wine Cellar. Phil and I are going to donate this special dinner for 12, and it'll be in the candlelit elegance of our Michael's Wine Cellar, surrounded by bottles, beautiful setting of tables, and it's a unique and exquisite setting for a definitely memorable experience. So you get to choose a selection of past hors d'oeuvres and a 4-course menu from our award-winning restaurant and chef Jamil Pineda. And I will personally choose the champagne and special white and red wines to make your evening complete. So remember, the better the bid, the better the wine. You can enter your top bid, and you'll get a text if you're outbid, God forbid. Remember the real reason we're here tonight, everyone, though. We need to help these children in our own neighborhood. Now I'm going to pass the baton back to Neil, and we'll see you a little later.
Thank you, Michael. Wow, what incredible auction items, each a bucket list opportunity and each to help CPC. Now to further everyone at home to understand what really happens at CPC, please gather together and focus on your screen as Allie McLaughlin takes us on a tour of CPC.
It shouldn't hurt to be a child, but sometimes it does. The Child Protection Center, well, I call it CPC, helps kids tell their story and begin healing, kind of like a butterfly. A butterfly hides in a dark cocoon until it's strong and ready to fly. CPC helps kids like me get strong. I'd like to show you how. At first, I was so scared to come here, but when I walked through the doors, it was so bright and colorful. The people here are so caring and explained exactly what I would be doing while I was here, which made me feel more at ease. This room is where kids get to meet with one person to tell their story. It's really tough, but they help you get through it. All of the other people have to stay in another room, and they make sure each kid is comfortable. They have to record it, but that's only for the judge to see later. This room is where a nurse or doctor will check out kids to see if they're healthy. They always pinky promise that they won't do anything in the medical room without the kids' permission, because kids are in charge of their body. Sometimes they find bruises, and they take pictures. That's only for the judge too, so they can help you later on. This room is cool. See the rug? It helps kids share their feelings. These therapy rooms are where kids who have been hurt get to meet with a really nice therapist that they can trust to share their feelings. The good stuff, the scary stuff, even the bad and sad stuff. The therapist helps kids learn how to deal with all their feelings. They even teach them ways to relax or how to talk to a trusted adult when they don't know what to do. Some kids find it easier to draw their feelings, so we have a big art room here too. Sometimes parents also meet with a therapist, or kids get to meet other kids who went through the same experiences. Sometimes children are not allowed to live with their mom or dad. It isn't because of something the kid did. Sometimes the mom or dad might use drugs, get in fights with each other, or have been gone for a long time. CPC helps kids see their parents in a supervised visit. Mostly, kids and their mom or dad play games, while a volunteer sits with them to make sure that everyone is comfortable and safe. The CPC wants to make sure that they can help stop bad things from happening to as many kids as possible. They educate kids through their Personal Safety and Community Awareness Program, or PSCA. This helps kids learn how to protect themselves. They teach the touching rule, who to tell if someone's hurting them, and ways to be smart on their phone, iPad, or computer. Sometimes kids can get hurt because they think they're talking to a kid on their computer, when really it's an adult. Prevention is a huge part of keeping kids safe. This is the Pillar of Hope. It's huge! Remember? It was in the middle of the lobby when we started. See all those marbles in there? Each one of those is a child that stood here. When a kid comes to CPC and tells their story, they get to put their marble at the top of the pillar and watch it go all the way down to the bottom to join the other marbles. That's a lot of marbles. Now this is my favorite part of CPC, the playground. Kids play, run, slide, and climb. You know, stuff that kids are supposed to do. It shouldn't hurt to be a child, but it sometimes does. The CPC and people like you help kids like us grow and heal so we can go on with just being a kid. I'm gonna go play now.
To find out more about the CPC and how you can help, please visit us at cpcsarasota.org.
Thank you, Allie, for explaining the story of CPC. Wow, that is why we are here, intervention and treatment of child abuse. Now please welcome a man passionately committed to the cause of protecting children. He has worked at CPC for the last 25 years and has made this his life's work. Our Executive Director, Doug Staley.
Thank you for that introduction, Neil. Everyone always tells you that time goes by quickly, and as I look up and realize that I'm in my 26th year with CPC, I'm confirming that time sure does move fast, especially when you do what you love. I do not even recognize that young, thin person with a lot more hair that walked into CPT in January of 1995. But I can tell you that I've been blessed to be surrounded by the best people and to be part of an incredible philanthropic community. I again want to thank our sponsors, donors, CPC ambassadors, board members, advisory board members, and our dedicated staff. We certainly would not be here today if not for all of you. It's been an incredible journey for CPC, a journey that began with a conversation among Junior League members in 1978 and a national needs assessment that identified child abuse as a priority. Those early conversations led to a call for action in our community that planted the very seeds that sprouted CPC's beginning in 1980. For seeds to grow, they need the right environment, proper nutrients, and care. And as seeds begin to sprout, their roots are shallow, tender, and not very sturdy. Without the right mixture of nutrients, water, environment, and care, it's very difficult for a seedling or a young organization to survive. CPC's roots were very young in 1986 when Gracie McGillicuddy read a story about Shannon Nicole in the paper. Shannon was a child who was brutally murdered at the hands of her mother and stepfather. It was in that moment that Gracie became aware of the dark, secretive world of child abuse, and she knew she had to do something, and she was introduced to CPC. Over the years, Gracie, like the master gardener, helped CPC to grow strong. She nurtured, supported, and strengthened our resolve to break the cycle of abuse. In fact, many of you here tonight are connected to CPC because of Dennis and Gracie McGillicuddy. Today, we have many master gardeners that help CPC to continue to grow and expand. 41 years ago, nobody talked about child abuse, but we have slowly changed that narrative by bringing these difficult discussions out of the shadows and creating ripples of hope that today, 41 years later, are waves for change. Our stories and needs became conversations, and those conversations engaged our community and became our call to action. A call to action that we still carry on today, and that brings forth hope. You just went on a virtual tour of CPC, and hopefully you now have a better understanding of our story and what we do as an organization. It is so powerful to see our services through the eyes of a child. It really puts in perspective what we do within our walls. I get chills every time I see this video, and I want you to have her voice in your head as you hear about the services we provide and as you learn more about CPC. Tonight, we hope you will become partners with CPC in our journey to end child abuse. Your support helps our efforts in the prevention, intervention, and treatment of child abuse, and our vision of creating a community where children are safe from abuse and free to thrive. Our goal tonight is to steward and care for our donors, all of you, and share what CPC needs to thrive, and in the process build lasting relationships so that we can take care of all the clients that come through our doors. The reality is we must do more as we currently have 57 children on a waiting list for therapy service. That's right, 57. These are children that are verified victims of physical and sexual abuse that are waiting for services. Lack of funding and resources cannot be the reason that these children remain on a waiting list. The pandemic has created a greater demand for all of CPC's programs and services. We know we can change the outcome for children and families impacted by child abuse, but we cannot do it on our own, and we need your help. Tonight, let's come together and meet and exceed our challenge match, and let's make a difference for the children. That is our call for action this evening, and I know that together we can do it. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce CPC board member and master gardener, Gracie McGillicuddy, who has a video message for us all.
I'll tell you what, it is just such an incredible honor and a pleasure and kind of sad. When I first came to CPC, we were on Main Street in a little tiny office. And now when I look at our Pillar of Hope, and I remember getting marbles for our grand opening, and I thought, well, I'll get 500 marbles. And I thought, oh my gosh, it was going to come in this gigantic box, and I was going to bring it over here. Well, 500 marbles was just this tiny little bag. And when I look over at the Pillar of Hope, I see how many, many, many children have been treated since I first started with CPC, and since we've been in this building. And I absolutely, there's just no one better than CPC in dealing with children, both in the education and the prevention and the treatment of children who've been abused. And I am just eternally grateful that I found them 36 years ago, and I am still with them, and I'm still just thrilled to death to be a part of CPC. CPC.
Gracie, we all love you. We wish we were all together tonight with you cheering us on. And right now I want to cheer everybody on to let's get going on those great auction items, because I don't know, it's getting pretty close to 7 o'clock, and we're going to be closing that auction at 7. So right now that Africa trip is only at $6,500. The Python's Purses party is at $4,000. Come on, we can do better on that. The cruise is only at $7,500, and God forbid the Michaels on East dinner is only a little over $6,000 right now. You guys know how much I like to get for those, and if you're really good, there might be 2. We'll see. But anyways, let's keep bidding. Let's keep going to the 7 o'clock hour. Challenge each other. We know where you all are. We can see you out there. Hopefully you can see us and feel the passion of the moment that we've got going on to help these children in our community. So how are we doing on everything? Oh.
And thank you, Grat. Throughout the years, the Mission Moment has communicated the heart of this event. The Mission Moment is the why we are here tonight, raising funds for this great organization. Please welcome the VP of Philanthropy, Sheila Miller.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight, I'm going to interview Phil Adams, who is a victim of child abuse. I know that parts of this video and conversation will be difficult to hear, but I urge you to listen. Don't turn away. He deserves to be heard, and in this case, we are fortunate that there is a positive ending.
I grew up with my mother in inner city Boston, and my dad moved to Maryland. During that time, my mother, as most young girls do, found the wrong guy to hang out with, and he became my stepfather. I guess the first time I remember him hitting me, we had my mom's eye pen, you know? Little crayon pen, it looked like a crayon. And we lived in an apartment, and my brother and I were writing on these tiles on the floor. And as I'm down there trying to scrub it off, it wouldn't come off. and I'm 5, I'm not gonna be able to get it off anyway. But he punts me like a football. He just kicks me as hard as he can. That was the first time he actually put his hands on us, and my mom came out screaming because I think it's the first time she had seen him put his hands on one of us, and it's the first time I saw him hit my mother. So that became the norm. Welts all up and down your arms, and cuts and bruises and scrapes, until I was about 10 or 11. It's hard to ask for help, just asking for help in general. But asking for help in that situation is really hard, especially for a child, because you're going against your parents. Like you're putting your parents in harm's way. It's pretty much what you're doing. And no matter what they do to you, no matter what my stepfather did to me, I still call him Dad. So they sent me to live in Maryland, and I thought I was going for the summer. And probably maybe a week later, all my clothes arrived. And then I realized I was not going back. And she's like, "You're not coming back to the city." She sent me to live with my dad, and it saved my life. It's the reason why I'm here today. I do know that if someone would have intervened earlier, there are a lot of decisions, a lot of mistakes that I made in my life that I would not have made. And just the fact that I went 30 years thinking there was something wrong with me. You kind of put that stuff down inside, and I guess it started kind of coming back out when I started having kids. And you start thinking about how you're going to discipline your kids, and you're like, I'm never hitting my kids, and I'm never doing this, or I'm never doing that. And it started coming up, and then I started seeing a therapist, and that's the only way I got past it. There's nothing worse than feeling helpless. And as a child, that's what you are.
Every time I see that video, it still impacts me. Thank you for sharing your story, Phil.
My pleasure.
You're not a victim anymore. You're more than a survivor. As Doug, our executive director, often says, you're one that thrives. So tonight, I'd like you to introduce yourself as you are now. How would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Phil Adams. I'm a father. First and foremost, I'm a father of 7 children, from 25 to 3. I have a business. I own my own business. I actually work as well in another business. So thriving is, I would say, is the easiest way to categorize what I do. But in life, I like to ride the wheels off of it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm riding the wheels off of it.
That's awesome. Through our earlier conversation, you told me at 4 years of age, you had your first broken rib. 5 years of age, your first skull fracture. 7 years, stitches in your head. And it sounds like there were several breakdowns in the community to keep you safe. Did anyone in the emergency room talk to you to determine if you were safe?
No, I was never pulled aside to ask if there was any violence in the home. I wasn't. They asked me what happened. I told them, and as absurd as the story was, they believed it, and you could tell that they didn't really believe it, but they just let it go. And it was one of those things. So, yeah, it was never asked.
So that's so hard for me to hear, thinking about CP's mission and our program and what we do. Makes me so thankful for what our child protection team does. You talked about using your mother's eyeliner pin. And were there certain triggers that brought the violence on, or was it unexpected to you, or?
You know, and I say this all the time, as a child in an abusive home, there are no triggers. It is whatever your abuser is feeling that day. And it doesn't require a trigger. It just requires them not feeling like they're having a good day and they want to take it out on someone. And that's usually how that works. There's nothing that I can't see, because when you're abused, you walk around on eggshells. You don't set off triggers when you're an abused child. You walk around and try your best not to. And as hard as you may try, it doesn't require a trigger for an abuser. It's who they are.
You said it's hard for you to ask for help. You said you're telling on your parents. And so often when I talk about child abuse with people, they always say, why don't the kids tell? Why don't they tell someone? Why don't they ask for help? How would you answer that when someone says that? Why don't kids ask for help?
In my case, and I think in a lot of kids of abuse, in a lot of our cases, our home is what we see as the world. That is the world to us. And that's our world. So to step out of that and ask for help when you don't know if you're going to be protected if you ask for help. You don't know if they're going to put you back in the same house with your abuser after you tell on them, which will make your life a lot worse. And my abuser knew that, and he told us that. He would tell us that. You can call 911 all you want. I'll be back. So that's why a lot of kids don't tell. And a lot of kids, you want to protect your family, even though that's what, it's a really sad view of what love is, but to you, that's what love is, and you want to protect that. So I think that's another reason why kids don't tell. And there's no one there telling, like for me, there was no one there telling me, you need to tell someone if someone's hitting you. You need to tell someone if, it was more so that's just what you thought discipline was, until you were out of that situation and you understood that that's not love, that's not discipline. But when you're in it, that is exactly what it is to you. It's love and it's discipline. And it's sad, but you're not gonna tell on the person that's doing that. And it's your parents. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's your parents. No one's gonna tell on their parents. It takes a lot for someone to tell on their parents.
Yeah. You talked about finding an escape as a child. How was school an escape for you?
School, man. School was the only place where I could let my guard down. School was the only place that I knew that all the adults were just there to take care of us. There was an adult in there that was gonna hit you. It was the only time I didn't flinch. Yeah, at home, every time an adult moved, you flinch, because you don't know if it's gonna be someone hitting you. You never know. And at school, you can just relax. And I went to an inner city school in Boston, and I could relax there more so than at home, if that tells you anything. And that's what school means. It's our little oasis away from all the pain that we live in, because you spend so much more time there than you do at school. And kids really enjoy being at school when they have an abusive home. They really do.
So we all just went through a pandemic, are still going through it. What do you think with the children that have been home during this pandemic who have some of the same experiences that you do?
I think it sucks. There's no other way to say it. You look forward to leaving the house.
Yeah.
You have something to look forward to. It's kind of your silver lining, You look forward to seeing your friends and getting away from what your world is, and it's a world of pain, and that's what it is. And when they close a school down, or you can't go to school and you don't have that social circle, and you don't have those people that you talk to that make your life better, they make your life bearable, because that is your escape. They are your vacation. Your friends are your vacation. School is your vacation, because you live in hell 24/7. Yeah. So once they take that away, I can understand why these kids are depressed. I can understand why these kids are having issues, because there's no outlet. There's no teacher there looking at these kids saying, that kid's being abused, I need to tell someone. Teachers are the #1 reporters of child abuse, and these kids aren't at school. So these kids are literally stuck at home with their abusers, and that's sad.
Yeah. Your grandmother saved you. You said that she stood up for you and she arranged for you to go live with your father in Maryland. But just leaving that home, that abusive home, didn't solve everything for you. How has therapy helped you in your journey?
So, got me. Yeah, abuse goes with you everywhere you go. It doesn't matter. It's in here and it's in here. So it doesn't matter if you leave the situation goes with you wherever you are. As a child, that's how you shape the way you look at people. It's the way you shape the way you look at relationships. And even just because you're removed from that situation, doesn't mean that changes the way you look at the world. The world is still an angry, mean place to a child of abuse. That's just what it is. And that was me I'm 44 now, and I didn't go to therapy till I was 33. So I carried that till I was 33, thinking there was something wrong with me that made this guy want to hit me. There was something wrong with me. And I didn't realize until someone said, that's not love. When you sit down and you talk to somebody, and I think everyone should go to therapy. I think we all have our own little pieces of PTSD, and you need to talk to somebody about it. But I wasn't free until I went to therapy, and that freed me because I had been carrying this man's pain and all of his anger. I've been carrying it, not him. He's fine. Yeah. And that's the sad part about it. The abuser, they don't care, and they're usually fine. It's the child or the person that they're abusing that carries all of their anger and all of their pain because they push that on you. And the only way to get that out is to talk about it and give it away because it's not yours. And that's what I had to learn. That pain's not mine. That's his pain. He's trying to make me carry his pain. And until I realized that, you can't let it go because you put your name on it like it's yours and it's not. So I think therapy is paramount for everyone, especially children of abuse.
And following that, what would you say to a child now or an adult who hasn't gotten help, or they're at home and they might not see this, but if the community sees a child and they haven't gotten help, what would you say to that child?
We want out. Every child of abuse wants out. We want out. We don't like, if my mom left and said we're gonna live in a car, I would have packed my stuff and jumped in the car as fast as I could. If at any point she said we're leaving this house, we'd have been gone, and us kids would not have cared. Your kids know. They know, and they want out, and they can't get out. So if you're staying for your kids, get out. We don't want to be there. We don't want to be there any more than you do. That's it. We want out. So if you're a child, like we have the CPC now, we have all these things that support children like me, these things that weren't in place when this stuff was happening to me. So utilize that stuff because it's a whole different story now. It's a whole different world now, and they aren't going to get away with it. And that's probably a lot of the reason why I didn't tell is because I was like, he's just going to get away with it. They're not going to get away with it. So tell. And if you're a parent and you're staying for your children, they don't want to be there. Leave. Leave.
Thank you for sharing. So tonight, one final question is, what do you want the community to know? The people that are watching tonight, is there a message out of all of this that you really want them to hear?
There's two messages, very simple messages. I say them all the time. The first is that no matter where you go, you're driving in your car, you're walking through a store, no matter where you go, someone around you in your circle is abused. Someone's surviving it, someone's living in it, someone's not surviving it, someone's not doing well with it. And they're all in our circle. They're in our circle when we're at church. I don't care where you are. When you're around the elites, when you're around the poorest of the poor, abuse does not care where you live. It doesn't care how much you make. It's everywhere. And we have to realize it and not look past it and leave it for the next man, because the next man might not do it. And then a child that's 5 at my age gets 30 before he gets help. When we can see it, recognize it, and give some assistance now. And that's what this stuff is about, and that's the second part of it. When we're in those places, and my wife and I, we say we can't go to Walmart without spending $100. We cannot set foot in the store without spending $100, and it's usually on stuff we don't need. So you can give $1 or $2 or $3 to the Child Protection Center. I mean, you can buy a raffle ticket for $50. At least you're gonna get a car in return if you win, but everywhere you go, there's a Phil Adams. Everywhere you go. And the other part of this is that I have 4 siblings that didn't have a father they could go to. They didn't have a release. There was no one there to help them. And they all lived through that. until they were adults. And I think they still aren't getting the help that I get. So start now. Take a month of Starbucks and donate it to the Child Protection Center. Take a month of smoking cigarettes was killing you anyway. Donate it to the Child Protection Center. I mean, we waste so much. We waste so much, and especially when we can't have events. We can't have events because we have to be safe. Especially because we're a charitable organization and we don't want to put our donors at risk.
Right.
But that being said, child abuse isn't going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. It has not taken a break. So we can't take a break on fighting it, and supporting the CPC is the best way to do it.
Thank you, Phil. You told me a long time ago, you said, Sheila, I will never be silenced again. I will always be noticed. And I wanted to tell you tonight, we all see you and we all hear you. Each time you share your story, your vulnerability, you're making a difference because you're shining a light on child abuse. You're educating people, you're giving hope, and I just commend you so much for sharing and being vulnerable. And you talked about that you didn't have a CPC in your life. And so tonight, what I'd like you to do, I'd like to give you an opportunity to symbolize your journey of healing and recognize the impact that you have on protecting children by giving you your own marble to put in our pillar of hope.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This is for my brothers and sisters.
Wow. Doug will now explain how the pandemic has impacted children as well as CPC services.
Listening to Phil share his experiences emphasizes even more the need for CPC's programs and services and reinforce what we know as experts in the field. The pandemic created unsafe situations simply by children being isolated from teachers and other safe adults. The isolation made it extremely difficult for these mandatory reporters to identify concerns. This created a drop in child abuse reports nationally and in our area as well. I've been asked what changed for CPC because of the pandemic. My answer is simple: everything. Everything changed. As an essential business, CPC has remained open from the very onset of the pandemic. We pivoted our resources to enable CPC to see clients virtually, when possible, and increase precautions for all in-person activities. We staggered staffing schedules, increased medical-grade office cleaning, created multiple sanitation stations, required mandatory temperature checks, and masks during all in-person services. We had to adapt how we connected with our donors and expanded our digital footprint. And, as many of you know, keeping up with the ever-changing HR policies surrounding COVID-19 has been a full-time job in of itself. So literally, every aspect of our business changed. I'm so proud of our dedicated and amazing staff. They are truly the best of the best. Let me share with you what our programs accomplished in the first 6 months of the pandemic. CPC's Children and Family Supervised Visitation Program provides court-ordered supervised visits to families in Venice and Sarasota to families who have a history of substance abuse, domestic abuse, or mental illness. SVP creates a safe environment to continue the parent-child relationship. SVP provided 134 more visits in the first 6 months than the previous year. After obtaining approval from the chief judge, SVP pivoted to virtual visits to protect the volunteers, staff, and families. And I want to share with you a story of how a father took a difficult situation and created an environment to successfully engage his son. Remember, his only interaction with his son is through a computer. No hugs, no high fives, just a screen. This father bought the same superhero action figure that he knew his son had so they could play together virtually. It was a powerful connection made between a parent and their child and supervised by our staff. It was truly quality time spent together. If not for the virtual visits, our families would have waited 9 months to see their children when we return to in-person visits. I am so thankful for their efforts. CPC's Personal Safety and Community Awareness Program was greatly impacted with the shutdowns of the schools. PSA transitioned very quickly to virtual lessons and Zoom interactions. With no in-person instruction, children were forced to a virtual platform, which meant all instruction required the use of the internet and technology. This created a false sense of security that just because children were at home, they are safe, which was and is simply not true. Children were more vulnerable than ever before. If children and parents did not set up safety precautions, children were placed in situations where more people now had access to them. Our staff was more determined than ever to protect children. In the first 6 months, PSCA staff created 27 virtual lessons and videos, and we now have over 40 virtual lessons and videos being utilized to educate and equip our children with the skills to prevent child abuse and to help keep them safe. Prevention is so important right now. We need to continue educating, enhancing the skills of our children. Think of Phil and his story. He said it's hard to tell as a child. Children need to know that it's okay not to tell and to know it's not their fault. CPC's therapy program provides services to verified victims of physical and sexual abuse and serves children that are sexually reactive. This program transitioned to a HIPAA-approved telehealth platform during the pandemic. In fact, about 75% of our therapy remains virtual today, and we're providing more therapy during the pandemic than we did prior to it. Our child protection team works directly with law enforcement and the Department of Children and Families to assist with the child abuse investigations. CPT provides medical exams that document the signs of abuse and provides a safe place for the child to tell their side of the story. CPT asks the questions that should have been asked to Phil. Our staff is trained to guide children through the disclosure process without leading questions through the forensic and specialized interviews. Staff interact with professionals from other disciplines to provide the best recommendations to law enforcement and the Department of Children and Families. CPT, like most of the nation, saw a decrease in child abuse reports in the first 6 months. However, CPT provided 27% more services than they did the previous year. And here's the scary stat. 43% of the children assessed by CPT in the first 6 months were seen for sexual abuse. Neil, this is just looking at the first 6 months, and you've already heard me say we have a waiting list for services. We're already doing more as an agency in spite of COVID-19, but we need to do even more. More prevention services, more intervention services, and more therapy services. No child should ever have to wait to see a therapist.
Thank you, Doug. I heard your call to action, and it is urgent, and we need to support CPC. Tonight, this is the way you can support CPC. You can bid on an auction item. You can make a donation by going to cpcsarasota.org. You can call the phone bank at 941-867-8500, or you can text butterflies to 50155. And remember, every dollar you give tonight will be matched up to $100,000. That means every gift goes twice as far in helping these kids. Once again, there are so many ways to give to CPC. Please listen to Ted and Ethna and how they decided to support CPC.
Hi, Since losing our son Eric, we wanted to honor his life by helping other children to have a safe, loving, and healthy home environment. We chose to give a legacy gift to CPC to continue their extraordinary work. We simply included CPC in our will.
There is a sentence we read in one of CPC's messages, and it has stayed with us as it encompasses their mission in just a few words. It shouldn't hurt to be a child. And that is why we, CPC.
Now is the moment we've all been waiting for. The first of Allie's songs. It is now my pleasure to introduce Allie McLaughlin. Allie attends Pine View School and is a gifted student and a member of the Student Council. She enjoys acting, dancing, singing, and playing musical instruments. Allie has performed in several local productions, including The Sound of Music as Marta Van Trapp, and at the Oslo Rep and Matilda at the musical as Matilda at the Manatee Performing Arts Center. She is passionate about helping others and making our community a better place to live, work, and play. Please welcome Allie McLaughlin.
You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. And the night can only last for so long. Whatever you're facing, if your heart is breaking, there's a promise for the ones who just hold on and lift up your eyes and see the sun is rising. Even when you can't imagine how you're ever gonna find your way out. Even when you're drowning in your doubt, just look beyond the clouds. The sun is rising. The sun is rising. The sun is rising. Whatever you're facing, if your heart is breaking, there's a promise for the ones who just hold on and lift up your eyes and see. And the sun is rising. Yeah, yeah. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Even when you can't imagine how you're ever gonna find your way out. Even when you're drowning in your doubt, just look beyond the clouds. Even when you can't imagine how you're ever gonna find your way out. Even when you're drowning in your doubt, just look beyond the clouds.
Wow, that was wonderful, Allie. What an incredible talent and what a incredible time in life to start giving back. Thank you. Friends, Allie was met by Daisy at the end of her song. Daisy is one of the PAWS dogs at CPC. PAWS stands for Pet Advocate Working in the Suncoast. The nationally certified pet therapy dogs have provided stress relief for children as they prepare for a deposition, as they testify against their abusers, and as they interact with their parent during a supervised visit. This again shows the compassion and care that CPC gives to the children who walk through their doors. Friends, there's still time for you to help make a difference in the lives of children. Just go to www.cpcsarasota.org, or you can call our phone banks at 941-867-8500. That's 941-867-8500, or you can text Butterflies 50155 and donate now. Once again, that's www.cpcsarasota.org, or you can call our phone bank at 941-867-8500, or you can text Butterflies 50155, and all donations are being matched up to $100,000. It is now my pleasure to introduce you once again to Jerry and Faye Bainbridge, the presenting sponsors of tonight's event.
Hello, I'm Jerry Bainbridge, and I wanted to take a few moments to just go through how we became involved in CPC. Faye and I started our business in a bedroom, which is typical of a small business, back in 1981, and it has grown far beyond our expectations. So several years ago, we started looking to give back to the community. And what we wanted to do was to give to organizations that do great work for people that are in need. And fortunately, one of our business associates told us about CPC and arranged for us to have a visit to CPC, which we did, and in our view, It was exactly what we were looking for. We feel fortunate to have found CPC because we know that the dollars that we provide go directly to helping abused children. What I would like to recommend is, if you haven't already, that you visit CPC to get a first-hand experience. So thank you very much, and thank you for supporting CPC. That is why we CPC.
Thank you, Jerry and Faye. This is it, folks. The auction is over, but there's still ways you can help. Don't go away. After tonight's auction winners are announced, stay tuned for Michael's Request for Hope and listen to Allie's last song for tonight. Hey, Michael, who are tonight's auction winners? Take it away.
Wow, this was really incredible to watch and see the numbers going up and up and up. So incredible. So Ruth Rojas and Jacqueline Brunkhorst, both of them are going to Africa, because we sold 2 of those trips, and it's going to be incredible. And if you end up going to Cape Town, let me know. I know all the good restaurants there. For the Michaels on East dinner, well, once again, we got a little crazy. I got a little crazy on it. We sold 3 of them. And thank you to Gracie and Dennis McGillicuddy, Bev Strock, and Mike and Karen Valentino. Thanks to all 3 of you. You're going to have a great time in Michael's Wine Cellar. For the Pythons, purses, and bags, Evan Duke. Great winner. That's going to be fun. I want to see the ride on that truck. And for Cruising into Memories, Jen Douglas. You're going to absolutely love that, that cruise. It's a beautiful situation. So congratulations to all the winners. The night isn't over. There's still great ways to give. And all of you that are having a watch party, and we know where you are, get your guests together. Because remember, every dollar tonight is being matched up to $100,000. There are a few ways that you can give. You can call the number 941-867-8500, and there's a whole gang here waiting to take your calls. You can use your credit card at cpcsarasota.org. You can write a check and mail it to their office. Or you can text the word butterflies to 50155. Before we listen to Allie McLaughlin sing her last song, let's raise some big dollars for CPC. Now, I know not everyone was able to be winners in the big auction, but you can win too, big by giving. So we're gonna do what I would call a paddle raise, but we're gonna ask all of you to help us in a big way. And we're gonna start at $10,000 and we're gonna work our way down. $10,000, believe it or not, gives 80 hours of therapy. Whoop. Oh, hold on, I got some donations here. Oh, I got $10,000 from Doug and Sherry Chapman and Drew and Barbara Cervasio. Wow, thanks you guys. Wow, $10,000 gives a complete course of trauma treatment for 4 children who've been abused too. And $10,000 is going to also provide over 250 evaluations. So thanks to you all that have given 10. Hold on, here's another one hot off the presses. Where am I here? Gracie and Dennis, again, oh, you guys are amazing. So thank you so much for that. And we're going to keep going now, I guess, and let's step down to $5,000 and see what kind of action we can get there. Because $5,000 will give, hold on, they're coming in fast and furious. Let's see, we got $5,000, Pam Hughes, Brian Mariosh, Greg and Lori McMillan, Jen and Larry Fox, Jacqueline Brunkhorst, Mindy and Wayne Rollins, Tina and Mike Grantham, and wow, we've got an anonymous one too. So however you're giving, you're doing it tonight, and we're pulling this off. This is so great. $5,000, to give you an idea, provides 20 internet safety lessons. It also provides for 3 intakes for parents prior to them getting to do their supervised visits. Just incredible support so far. I'm thrilled with this. Let's see, let's step down to $2,500 because that's an important amount. That will give 5 medical examinations for intakes. It'll also provide for 60 hours of law enforcement during the supervised visitations. Have I got any 2500s? I got some. Keep them coming, everybody. We're doing this. Let's see. Thank you so much to Steve and Beth Knopick for $2,500, and to Ralph and Sherry Gorenstein. Just great, great, great giving. Well, let's keep moving and let's keep hoping. You can keep doing this as I go. You don't have to stop now. $1,000 is our next level, and that gives 8 hours of therapy to children who need it. And our goal is to get everyone to give something. The goal tonight for me is that everybody does something. No matter how little, no matter how big, everybody needs to do something. Oh, I got a couple. Hold on, I got another $10,000 from Gerald and Sandra Biller, or Biller, I'm so sorry. But yes, so this has just been incredible so far. Any other last minute adds to that? I'm not sure. Yep, oh wait a minute, here comes more. Here comes another one. The very top. Oh my God, okay, wait till you hear this. We just got a $25,000 gift. Just incredible. Anonymous, we'll find out their name later. But for now, $25,000 is just incredible.
I got to just say, that is incredible. We're so excited. Keep that coming. It's just helping the kids, and I'm just overwhelmed with the numbers and everything that's coming. It looks like we got another one.
Another $10,000. Oh my gosh. So this is dedicated to Greg and Jen Stubbe, the Gulf Coast Community Foundation, Chris Cherry Ziegler. $10,000 keeps coming. All of you keep coming. You know, I love this event, and I am so honored to be able to help this amazing organization once again. And on behalf of our whole team at Michaels on East, we are just so proud to be associated with all of that goes on to help these young people and to be able to help. Doug, what do you think of the night?
I'm just overwhelmed. It's just been incredible just to see all the numbers come in, how everybody's just opened up and giving to help the kids so that we can really make a difference. It's been so incredible. And we have more.
We got more. Here I go. Okay, Charlie Brooks, $1,750. Jill and Scott Levine, $1,500. Irma Blumenthal and Honorable Doug and Carolyn Ann Holder, $1,000. $500. Williams Parker. Louis Rahak Jr. Dr. Kathy and Frank Kusser. Mike and Tracy Smullen. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you, Roxanne Permsley, Emily Walsh, Mary Beth Harrison, Susan Brennan, Dr. Larry and Lisa Press, Teresa Wolf, Observer Media Group. Wow, this is just incredible. Phil Tavel, the Chipperardis. I could go on and on and on. Elizabeth Waters, we love you.
Yeah, it's just incredible. We're going to keep the phone banks open. I know we're pressing up against the end, but this has just been an overwhelming response, and we just want to thank everybody out there having watch parties, getting together to make a difference in the life of a child. So thank you so much. And we just want everybody to remember to watch the end to see your Blue for Kids photos. And Allie will be singing our last song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But it looks like we got another prize. So here we go. Phil Adams, come on up here for a second. We want to say thank you to Phil again for sharing his story earlier and just really being the moment of the night. This is why we're here, and you're sharing the need to give so we make a difference to hopefully prevent things happening that you experience. So thank you, Phil, for sharing.
So keep it coming, everyone. Keep the bids coming. Keep the money coming. Don't stop. Everybody do something tonight. Please do something.
Children may have wished upon a star, and you have helped to chase the clouds away. And we're going to go to a song.
Thanks, everyone.
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble smells like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
There we go. The things I do for CPC. I turn blue for you. Go blue for kids! My new do, going blue for you.